Hello everyone, welcome to my class Literary Lessons and Essays. In today's class, we are going to have an analysis of T.S. Eliot's Tradition and Individual Talent. Before getting into the analysis, please like and subscribe my channel for more such videos. The essay Tradition and Individual Talent is considered a great work in 20th century literature. It was first published in the year 1919 in the literary magazine The Egoist. It was published in two parts. The essay may be regarded as an unofficial manifesto of Eliot's critical creed. The essay is divided into three parts. The first part gives us Eliot's concept of tradition. The second part deals with his impersonality theory of poetry, and the third part is in the nature of a short conclusion. In the first part, he gives a detailed description of the word tradition. He begins the essay pointing out that the word tradition is generally regarded as a word of disapproval or a censure. He uses the word censure. It is a censure to the English ears. The word is disagreeable to the English ears, he says. When the Englishmen praise a poet, they praise him for those aspects of his work which are individual and original. These are the words of Eliot. So, what does Eliot mean by this is that Eliot says that we praise the poet for the wrong thing. If they examine the matter critically with an unprejudiced mind, they will realize that the best and the most individual part of a poet's work is that which shows the maximum influence of the writers of the past. So, it is better that the work is influenced by the works of the past, says Eliot. To Eliot, tradition does not mean a blind adherence to the ways of the previous generations. So he doesn't mean a blind adherence by the term tradition. Okay, this would become a mere slavish imitation or a mere repetition of what has already been achieved. So that is not what Eliot means by tradition. He discourages tradition in the sense of passive repetition. So tradition, says Eliot, has a much wider significance. He says tradition cannot be inherited, but it can only be obtained, and that too by hard labor. The labor is the knowledge of past writers and their works. They should, by laborious reading, understand critically which of the works are good and which one are bad. This is called as tradition, and this tradition can be achieved only by those who have a historical sense. So this is how Eliot is proceeding with his concept of tradition. They should have a historical sense from Homer to the present day. It is this historical sense that makes a writer traditional. A writer with a sense of tradition is fully conscious of his own generation, of his place in the present, but he is also acutely conscious of his relationship with the writers of the past. He means that tradition represents the accumulated wisdom and experience of ages, and so its knowledge is essential for really great and noble achievements. Again, tradition continues. Again, T.S. Eliot continues with his concept of tradition, emphasizing further the value of tradition. Eliot points out that no writer has his value in and significance in isolation. To judge the work of a poet or an artist, we must compare and contrast his work with the works of poets and artists in the past. So, Eliot's concept here takes a new turn. Eliot's concept of tradition is a dynamic one. He says that his tradition is a dynamic one. According to his view, tradition is not fixed and static. It is constantly changing, growing, and becoming different from what it is. A writer in the present must seek guidance from the past. He must conform to the literary tradition. The relationship between the past and the present is not one-sided. It is a reciprocal relationship. The past directs the present and is itself modified and altered by the present. The work of a poet in the present day is to be compared and contrasted with works of the past and judged by the standards of the past. This comparison is to be made for knowing the facts, all the facts about the new work of art. It is made for the purposes of analyzing and to form a better understanding of the new. The past must be examined critically and only the significant in it should be acquired, says T.S. Eliot. Now, this is the next critical aspect that T.S. Eliot writes in this critical piece. It is called as the impersonality theory of poetry. The artist must surrender himself to the literary tradition. He must allow his poetic sensibility to be shaped and modified by the past. He must acquire greater and greater objectivity. There must be a greater extinction of personality. The personality of the artist is not at all important. The important thing is his sense of tradition, says T.S. Eliot. His emotions and passions must be depersonalized and he must be as impersonal and objective as a scientist. The personality of the artist is not important. The important thing is his sense of tradition. He must forget his personal joys and sorrows and should be absorbed in acquiring a sense of tradition and expressing it in his poetry. Here, Eliot develops his theory of the impersonality of poetry by comparing the mind of the poet to a catalyst and the process of poetic creation to the process of a chemical reaction. Just as chemical reactions take place in the presence of a catalyst alone, so also the poet's mind is the catalyst agent for combining different emotions into something new. The combination takes place in the presence of a catalyst, but the catalyst does not undergo any change during the process of poetic combination. The mind of the poet is constantly forming emotions and experiences into new wholes, but the new combination does not contain even a trace of the poet's mind. Thus, in this critical theory, Eliot does not deny the personality or emotion of the poet, but he insists on depersonalizing the poet's emotions. This impersonality can be achieved only by following tradition. And this is how Eliot has presented his views in tradition and individual talent. Like and subscribe this channel for more such videos. An essay for the same is given in the below found link. Thank you.